Have you ever heard of hopping vampires? In Chinese folklore, there is a creature known as the Jiang Shi. These vampires are reanimated corpses that are very stiff and rigid and literally look like they're hopping when they move. This is a modern interpretation of the Jiang Shi, and according to ancient Chinese folklore, they were actually very fast, very strong, feral, brutal creatures who could run and even fly. It's believed that the folklore about them evolved to include the hopping aspect based on something that happened during the Qing dynasty. Back then, being a laborer was a very dangerous job with an incredibly high mortality rate. When laborers died, they had to be transported back to their hometown because it was believed that if you were buried outside of your hometown, you could become a restless spirit. These laborers who passed away were transported back to their hometowns by corpse drivers. Pieces of bamboo would be tied together, and the corpses would be tied upright to the bamboo. One corpse driver would walk in the front carrying the bamboo, and one would walk in the back, and they would literally walk the people back to their hometown. If you were an onlooker seeing this procession, you would see all of these deceased people standing upright, and because they were being carried, it appeared that they were hopping. Corpse drivers eventually would perform their duties at night, so there weren't as many onlookers, but this just fed into the folklore and the fear that these creatures couldn't come out in the daylight. We're going to talk about 10 ways that a person could be turned into a Jiang Shi, or a hopping vampire. Number 1, if the deceased person's body did not decompose. Number 2, if supernatural rituals were performed on the deceased person's body. Number 3, if the deceased person was able to absorb enough energy or life force from other people around it, it could be reanimated. Number 4, if a spirit possession occurred. This happens when a supernatural being like an angel or a demon occupies the body of a human. Number 5, if there was a funeral for the deceased person, but they weren't buried after the funeral. Number 6, if the deceased person had the unfortunate experience of being struck by lightning after they had passed away. Number 7, if a pregnant cat, especially a black cat, jumped over top of the body of the deceased person. Number 8, if the person experienced a sudden or violent death, their soul could have been trapped inside of their body. Number 9, if the person passed away and their body was left out under the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon both give off energy, and the person could absorb that energy, which could ultimately reanimate them. And number 10, a deceased person could be infected by somebody who was already a Jiang Shi. 10 ways you can protect yourself against Jiang Shi vampires. Number 1, mirrors. These specific type of vampires are terrified of their own reflection. You know how I feel about mirrors, so use that one cautiously. The sound of a rooster's call, because this typically signifies daylight coming back, and these specific vampires aren't supposed to be out in the daylight. Number 3, fire. I feel like this one is pretty self-explanatory. Number 4, items made out of peach tree wood. These are not your typical European or American vampires. These ones specifically are repelled by peach tree wood. Number 5, the hooves of a black donkey. Just like a black cat could turn somebody into a vampire, a black donkey specifically can help protect you against those vampires. Number 6, the sound of a handbell. Number 7, disclaimer, I would not recommend this one. This is for entertainment purposes only, but it is the blood of a black dog. Number 8, dropping a bag of coins. This is pretty standard protection against most types of vampires, as they're known to suffer from arithmomania, which means if you drop a bunch of coins, seeds, rice on the ground in front of them, they will have to stop what they are doing and count them. Number 9, changing the threshold of your doorways. If you want to prevent a Jiang Shi vampire from coming into your house, you can add a 6-inch tall step to your doorway. Number 10, and this one is highly specific, a thread that has been stained with black ink, chicken blood, and a burnt talisman.